Hey everyone, and welcome to a guide for Kingdom 2 Crowns. This time we'll be taking a look at the Plague Island challenge, so let's get started. Plague Island is one of the 3 challenges that were added in the Challenge Island update. The goal is to survive for as many days as possible before the Greed defeat you. You get the Bronze Crown for surviving 10 days, the Silver Crown for surviving 20, and the Gold Crown for surviving 40. There's no boat to travel to other islands, and there's no way to destroy the cliff portals, so it's just a case of setting up your defences as strongly as possible. The island you're on is about as big as the 4th or 5th island from the campaign and has a cliff portal on each side, protected by a large rock and a tentacle that can't be defeated, which will attack anything that gets too close. There are no gems, hermits, statues or alternative mounts for you to get, and both the stone and iron technologies are available to buy as you normally would. In this challenge you start on the Warhorse mount, and there aren't any other mounts available, but its buff works a bit differently from usual. It not only prevents your subjects from losing their tools, but also stops them from becoming infected by greed. This can be especially useful if you see that your walls are about to be broken, as you can buff all your subjects, giving them a chance to retreat, or at least stopping them from turning into hybrids and most likely destroying your entire kingdom. The greed on the island are quicker and stronger than in the campaign, and if any of your subjects get hit by a greedling, they'll become infected and instantly transform into a greed human hybrid. These hybrids move slower than regular greedlings, but are a lot more powerful and can easily destroy your walls. Sometimes they can even scale your walls due to how quickly they attack them. They take 3 arrows to kill, and once killed they turn back into vagrants that can be recruited again. You generally want to do your best to avoid getting any subjects infected, as they can quickly get out of hand. The blood moons and night attacks follow a fairly standard routine, so they can be managed a little. The first blood moon will occur on the 6th night and consists of greedlings and masked greedlings. Blood moons then occur roughly every 7 or 8 nights after that. The second blood moon has 1 breeder, the third has 2 breeders, and from the 4th blood moon, armoured breeders join the attack as well. The second blood moon happens around night 15 or 16, the third is on night 22, the 4th is around night 30 or 31, and the 5th is on night 38. There are more blood moons beyond this, but that's all you have to face to get the gold. The night after a blood moon is usually free from attack, but not always, so don't risk sending builders out to expand or cut down trees until you're absolutely certain that there's no greed coming. Luckily, you don't have to worry about floaters or crown stealers to get the gold in this challenge, so it's just a massive amount of greedlings, breeders and armoured breeders. Much easier. This challenge used to be a lot harder when it first came out, bordering on impossible, as the breeders were very difficult to kill and could easily break through your walls on the later waves. On top of this, there was also a bug caused by the mechanics of the island. The night attack is designed so the first greedlings reach your walls at a certain point in the night, but the greedlings move a lot quicker in this challenge, so the wave would spawn later in the day to compensate. This caused an issue when breeders joined the night attacks, as they moved the same speed as normal but spawned much later, so they wouldn't reach your walls until daytime when your troops had already gone back outside, meaning the breeders could easily infect all of them and destroy your kingdom. This was fixed in a patch by making any breeders instantly die when it becomes daytime, so you rarely have to deal with any at all, and even if they do make it to your walls, it's usually a case of waiting until dawn instead of actually having to defeat them, which is a whole new bug and takes a lot of the challenge out of it. Pikemen are very useful in this challenge, as they can easily kill the greed that gather by your walls, so it's best to pick the regular setting for this challenge rather than the Shogun setting. That covers the mechanics of the challenge, now on to some tips for getting the gold crown. At the start of the challenge you have a couple of options. You can head straight to your camp and start recruiting and building defences, or you can head deeper into the forest and try to find coin chests. I tend to go for the latter, as exploring straight away gives you time to fully explore the side you start on. The camp has roughly 20 coins on the ground nearby, but there's also 11 vagrants that start here, so you won't have enough coins to recruit and buy tools for all of them, which is why it's important to try and find a coin chest early on. The first night attack only has 3 greedlings on each side, but it's easier to pay them off or to not build any walls than it is to build walls and defend as usual. The greedlings in this challenge can easily destroy low level walls, and even if you have 2 or 3 archers on each side, they can struggle to land hits on them, so paying them off removes that issue, but so does having no walls, as it gives your archers a clearer shot at the greedlings, though it's also worth using the Warhorse's buff to protect your archers as a precaution. After you survive the first night, you get more of a chance to set up stronger defences. There should be around 5 coin chests spread around the island, so spend the next few days finding them, getting the stone and iron mines unlocked, clearing trees around your camp and upgrading your defences. You don't need to expand your kingdom beyond the initial walls, as you won't have the coins to fully upgrade defences at any new walls before the first blood moon. There should be at least 4 vagrant camps spread around the island, with one relatively close on each side, and you should be aiming to recruit at least 2 vagrants a day throughout the challenge. Once you're clear of the first blood moon, it's time to expand your defences so you can get catapults and pikemen. The next blood moon will be a lot harder, so these extra defences will help massively. But don't worry if only one of them spawns on each side, you'll still be fine for the second blood moon and can expand again later. Archery towers are useful for getting the greedlings that build up next to your walls, but aren't as useful if you put them further away from your kingdom, as the greedlings move too fast for the tower to have much effect. So build any that are in range of your walls, but don't bother building any more. If there's not any space for an archery tower near your walls, you should still be fine, as your catapults and archers will be able to take out the bulk of most waves, and your pikemen will be able to finish off any that make it to your walls. You may need to clear a vagrant camp so you can expand your kingdom, but this isn't really an issue, as you'll have plenty of time during the days to visit further away camps. Fully upgrade your walls if possible, and buy fire barrels when you hear the noise of a blood moon wave leaving the portals. I wasn't quite able to get my walls fully upgraded on one side, so the breeder broke through, but died shortly after and didn't cause any issues. There's not really anything special that you need to do for the rest of the challenge, and it's a bit of a grind, but just keep recruiting vagrants regularly, making most of them archers, keeping 2 pikemen on each side and replacing their pikes when they break, and making sure you have enough builders to man your catapults and take care of any building or upgrades. You don't really need farmers for coins, as your archers usually get plenty from hunting, but I got a few on this run anyway, as there was a convenient spot to build a farm. It's also worth getting squires or knights on each side of your kingdom once you've got the spare coins, as you'll have more than enough archers and they'll provide some extra defense if your walls get broken through. If you've got the space, build the next wall back from your outer walls and have it fully upgraded, as it will give your archers less distance to run if the outer wall breaks, and less chance of getting infected. That's pretty much everything. You should be able to get through to night 40 without encountering many breeders at all, so it should all be pretty easy. I did have a bit of a bug on one playthrough, where the breeder that spawned for night waves on one side of the kingdom moved a lot faster, and so it did reach my walls each night, but this stopped after a few nights and returned to its normal speed. If they patch this challenge again at any point, then I'll look at making an updated video, but that's everything for this time. I hope you found it useful. If you're looking for more tips and guides, then check out some of my other videos, but until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.